this event will be recorded. So we're live.
Yeah. Hi.
Let's check on. Yep, 4 people viewed. Hello everyone. It's me Zainul Abidin Mia, your host of today's session and also CNCF ambassador. Can you, can you just let me know if you can hear me or not? Like comment if you can see us on the Facebook or YouTube where you have joined live. Yep, I have checked the YouTube. We're audible. So hi, Amazing Stardom. Thank you for joining. Also, you can like write on the comments where you are from and what time is it at your destination. And today we have a special guest with us. We have Shrijith, is a founder of Hexmos, and also he is the ex-engineer at Amazon. So today we're delighted to have him here in CNCG Bangladesh. So thank you, Shrijith, for joining us today.
Yeah.
So
Hi, Zainul and CNCF community, Bangladesh, and from elsewhere. Amazing to be here.
yes, Shrijith, we're glad to have you here. So you can start with the introduction, like talk about yourself, where you have started your journey to Amazon, to Hexmos, and we would love to hear that. And also jump into the live session after your introduction. So, yes.
Yeah. Perfect. That sounds great. So,
And also, if you guys have any questions, like on Shrizit, you can just write on the comments. And if you have any questions regarding this session recording, this session is recorded on YouTube. So, yep, you can also check that out. And if you have any questions during this session, you can write on the comments. We will answer one by each one if possible. So, yep, you can go ahead, Srijit.
thank you, Zainul, for the kind introduction and also the opportunity to meet you all guys. So, I am in this tech industry by passion and by choice as well, and almost a decade now in the industry and even before the industry. In computing, I've had passion from my childhood days, from almost when I was very young, 8th standard, ninth standard. I would spend tons of time, right, building things, experimenting things, tinkering things, and that is where I got a personal confidence in my capabilities and also what is possible with technology. I felt like technology is through which we can contribute the best to the world, or best to the world, or most creative thoughts, convert it into something concrete, and share it with the entire world with the internet. I felt that was the most positive thing and interesting thing for me to explore. So that's how I got into technology, and I did my bachelor's in Bangalore. Bangalore is where the tech action happens in India, particularly. It's called the Silicon Valley. Big companies here, many tech professionals. It's a good arena to build up your capabilities. You can meet good professionals who have decades of experience, and product managers and directors of engineering, so on. You could meet anyone and you could learn from them. So that's how I started. And of course, college academic part was there, but I was mostly exploring on my own as well in a big way. I was into the original Apple research and so on, Xerox Park. So that is where the GUI was done, where the ARPANET was done originally. So I was interested in those kind of research areas back then in Bangalore. And then I graduated, I got into a startup. I built that 0 to 1 edtech startup. Amazing journey again. So, uh, how do you build real software for real people, uh, getting it used everywhere, right? So that was a joy to do. And then I went to the US to study and to research, actually, to work under Professor Krishna Lopes. I was deep into distributed systems. So that is when I actually got to know about CNCF and so on back then, because CNCF hosts so many critical projects for the world, and many things come under the organizational umbrella, right? Even Apache Foundation is there. I was aware of that as well. Apache Foundation was closely related to our department there. So there were many such associations, and I became more aware of how this uh, world of technology works, and also some inkling about how I can contribute to this, right? And then, as part of this, I was in the US. I also got into software work there at Amazon, and that also gave me a big idea about what's happening uh, at large scale software. How does that work? Because generally, when you're in college, you're looking at one node, you're developing in your laptop, and that in itself is difficult, first of all, in software, right? Just getting something to work in a sensible way is very, very tough. It demands a lot from you. You might be trying to make a game, or you might be trying to build some small application, personal application. That in itself is difficult, and that's where you see your first bugs. Hopefully, some of you have experienced that, right, already. How difficult it is to get something working the way you want it. And so at Amazon, I saw that you have multi-node applications, huge, huge applications, right? The kind of scale that I have never seen before, and probably never after as well. The kind of complexity, richness, number of people involved in keeping these things going. So these are truly monsters of the modern world, enormous systems, right? Huge systems. So this is also an inspiration for an engineer like me. How do we build good software, and how important it is to build something reliable, something people can depend upon. So that is when I started feeling that uh, reliability, how important it is. So for example, Amazon has a requirement 5 nines uptime, 99.999 uptime. That is the requirement, which means annually your application can go down maybe 5 minutes, not more, right? So this is this is a requirement, right? You if you want to do something critical, something important, you can't have your applications going down. So this is where I started getting an interest in more serious software, infrastructure software, and so on, right? So CNCF has so many projects underneath, which are also of this nature, right? You make a mistake, it may look like a technical mistake, but it's not merely a technical mistake. Reason is, if your app, your logic doesn't work out, it may be powering some healthcare startup, it may be powering some fintech component, and that end of the day impacts people. So recently there was cloud strike, so many things went down back then. Hospitals couldn't work out, or you have airport mechanisms not working, flights getting cancelled. So I started realizing, okay, this is an important job, right? You're an engineer, you're a software engineer, this is serious business, right? Every small change I do has downstream impacts, 4 level down, 5 level down. Someone is getting impacted, and this is how our modern civilization, everything works, right? So I felt some importance or some meaning that yes, this matters. Then I came back to India because I wanted to do things on my own and also contribute back from uh, in Bangalore, because Bangalore gave me so much and I wanted to contribute back to the ecosystem, all that. That's one side. Second is I had done some research on that and I wanted to put those some of those ideas into practice as well, in a more real world context, because I was more into academic side, studying those things and all that, and I wanted to apply that into more real world circumstances and get real world adoption, see how things can be made better, right, with the things which I had studied previously. So that happened 5 years back. So I am on this journey almost 5 years now, and that's when the chat GPT phenomenon happened. And now I think we are in a totally different world, or a totally changing world, and all of us are grappling with it. You open X, you open LinkedIn, you open anything. uh, I'm going for a tea in a local shop here, and they're also talking about AI. So it's just everywhere, and rightfully so, because this is going to be a transformational moment for all of us. And how we are going to adjust. When I say adjust, how software as a field is going to evolve, the next step. So that is the question in my mind, and that is my work. So presently, earlier I was deep into history, studying foundations of technology, how it works and so on. Now I am actually worried about what do we need to do, because okay, I need five five nines uptime. These are the reliability required, and now you have this LLM non-deterministic software coming in. So how do these things merge? That's the core question in my mind, because yes, automation is going to go to higher levels every decade. Every decade we are going to go to higher levels and do more sophisticated things. That is natural, but that cannot be at the cost of reliability. That five nines or all these critical projects under CNCF, you can't let the quality go down there. So how do we get this good quality but good velocity and still progress? So that is the real world question which I am trying to explore, and many others are also exploring the same aspects in many parts of the world, and many organizations, research organizations, and industrial labs. Many people are doing that, but I think it's important that everyone engage in this, because it is the whole ideas cannot be worked out individually like a top down plan. More intelligent people are who are participating in this, the better the outcome will be over time, and we will create better standards, and that will help people all over the world better, because we are going to build even more reliable software. That is what I am hoping for. So presently the uptime is 99.999. My hope is we can add one more nine to it with AI. It should not be one nine down, right? So sometimes people are talking about GitHub going down, this going down. So I think that is not a good trend, because as we go forward, we have to build up these techniques and systems and everything, so that we have more reliability, right? We have more intelligence on our side. How can you reduce the reliability? It doesn't make sense. But that is what is presently it is happening, and that clearly means we need new techniques, new systems, new thought, and new ideas to do this. So presently, the way I am looking at it, you have the software engineering activity, three parts. So one part is specification. You're specifying what should this particular piece of tech do. Problem one. Problem two is, if step one is very clear, we can implement it. We can put it in Python, we can put it in Java, we can put it in whatever. We can put it in a bunch of things. We can put it into microservices. We can make them talk. Whatever it is, we can implement it. So specify, implement. Step two, implement. Then step three is it working? That's the question, right? Validation, verification. So I specified something, I made the machine do it. Then third, we are checking, is the machine actually doing it straight, the way we want it. So this is design, right? What what humanity needs more and more is design. So if I press a switch, it is supposed to turn on a light, the light turns on. That's what we want. We don't want non-deterministic or non-deterministic switch, right? Like I click on it, maybe it will turn on, maybe it will not turn off. That is not acceptable to us humans, right? If I press a switch, light goes on. That's what I want. Okay. So reliability, again, this is the concern, right? Or you're using a medical device, certain things has to work in a particular way. So this is reliability. How do we get it? So I mentioned three steps: specify, build, and check. So in the build side, now AI is doing the maximum impact, in my opinion. So this is my perspective, because I believe AI is helping us implement faster. But presently, AI is not in the stage where it can design life the way we want it. So specification, say I have a flight, say I am a flight company. I need to specify what are the operation safety requirements. If I am a school manager, principal, I need to say what my students are supposed to learn. So we humans must set the standards. We should take help of AI in fulfilling those very high standards. As I mentioned, so 5.9 must become 6.9. So how do you go 10x? How do you go to one more level up? So that is the challenge, larger challenge. So in this, right now, there are two layers where we can take control. So we can take control in the specification side, or we can take control in the verification side. Both, ideally both. Eventually, this is what we will need, because you want better and better specification mechanisms. So right now, everyone is prompting. You go to an editor, you say something in plain English, and pop, some code comes out. And I think many startups are just putting it into prod, right? So this is the state we are in, and this will, my feeling is sometimes worries, maybe this will cause harm, because you don't know, it is an interconnected world. Many people are looking at applications in isolation. Yeah, I have my app, why should I bother, right? But the problem is your app leads to another app, and that leads to another thing, and that leads to another thing, and something goes off. You don't know what is going to be this chain reactions, right? As this is a cloud, right? This is cloud. So there, everything is connected. Something goes down, many other things will go down. So this is not good for civilization, and also not good for engineering reputation, right? So engineering is a profession, and it must give that reliability. So this is the larger problem which I'm working on. And actually specification is an extremely interesting area, where formal methods and things like that will potentially come. So engineers like us, and even students who may be there, or early professionals, think very seriously about this. This will help you enormously. So there are specification methods. So some keywords I will mention. So things like TLA plus. If you have not heard of TLA plus, please look it up. Okay. Lean 4, mathematical theorem prover. Look at this, look at that. Because we eventually will move towards a more highly specified world, where bugs are reduced because of mathematical guarantees. Okay, so this is one direction. Okay, but what do we do in the, so this is a maybe medium term direction, I would say 5 to 6 years. We will try to increase the reliability using formal methods. So in Bangalore, there is Indian Institute of Science. They are doing this now. They are launching programs saying we will have verified agents. So you are getting guarantee that a agent will do what is expected of it, and nothing which is unexpected. Both. This is very important, because you don't want random things happening, and unexpected things happening, dangerous things happening, right? So this verified agents is a very big idea, and we are also exploring that at Expos. But my opinion is the more people, the better, because world will get better solution due to that. And specifically, practically, I am working on the validation side as well. So let me share my screen once, and I'll show you something very quickly. Give me a second. Is my screen visible?
Oh, yes, it's visible now.
Yeah. So this is like the verification ladder in software, which is available to companies. So as I said earlier, many startups and operations, they may not even be reviewing sufficiently. They're not even doing the very basic things. But then in the toolkit for verifying that something works the way it is supposed to work, there are many options. So first level is rung is code review. Code review is like the cheapest option available for getting some level
Shrijith,
of guarantee.
I think we can zoom it out. I think lots of words are not visible. Yes, now it's visible.
Yeah. So I'm just explaining this ladder. Okay. So
Yes.
these are the techniques available for ensuring that you have a better reliability. Okay. So at the bottom is what you have for the highest levels of reliability. And here, what we have at this level is what is cheap, but may not give you that high level of a guarantee. So you have code review, then you have testing, then you have CI/CD, then you have fuzzing, modeling, model checking, symbolic testing, program proof, correct by construction. So these are like multiple levels through which we can slowly increase the confidence we have in the system which we are dealing with, systems which we are dealing with. Okay. And so for someone or some team which doesn't have any sort of validation in their frameworks, they must start ideally just at the top, because that is the most practical thing that they can do immediately, right? You do some code review, you add some tests, maybe you'll get a level of reliability which you didn't have before, right? And maybe explore these things: proof, correctness, model checking. These are good things, but not everyone can adopt them immediately. And as I mentioned, people like us in Expos, we are looking into it. There are many other organizations who are looking into this. There are many solutions appearing in the market, in the open space as well. So this is something to watch out for from the reliability angle. And in practice, what I realized in code review part specifically is, so many people are not doing it because there is not enough of a good trigger. So if you are a company, established company, and you have already many outages, you have had experiences, so you have taken up code review. Or maybe you are a Apache project or you are some other project, and there is necessary standards which is demanded by these organizations or whatever, then maybe you are doing it. Okay. Or there is an industry pressure to be competitive, so you are reviewing it. So almost like nobody necessarily likes or loves it, but there has to be a trigger, right? Why you are doing it. That's one thing. Second is the experience has to be very simple and smooth and easy to get started. So this is the experiences side is where I felt like I could make a little bit of difference, and that is why I started one of my projects. This is Git-LRC. You can check it. Expos Tech Git-LRC. Okay. So we have come up with a concept called micro AI code review. So this is just something memorable. I wouldn't say this is some big revolutionary technique or something like that. It's just that we have given a lot of thought to usability. So startups and those who may be in a hurry can cheaply adopt some sort of verification into their engineering workflow. So my requirements as a founder who has to move fast as well, because pressures are there, right? always startups are under enormous pressure to grow and to develop all that. So for me, the requirement was an engineer when they have a small change and they want to push it, they should be able to check it for a basic sanity check in 60 seconds. That's my hard requirement. Okay. In 60 seconds, if you cannot do a snapshot review, not good enough, right? That was my requirement. Because if you look at the present things, many of these things, it almost looks sometimes ceremony, right? You have 5 people in this team and everyone is coming here. They're nitpicking this issue, that issue. So it takes a long time to review. Maybe that is not great for a startup, because I myself personally feel uh, a startup has a necessity to move fast, or small organizations. And anyone now, say with AI, so many people are coming into the field, building their own projects, so on. Maybe you're not immediately ready for the highest levels of standards, 5 nines, all that. But let's get on a quality journey, right? So that is the idea. And I'll actually sort of show how this works. Okay, so this is my VS Code. Okay, this is my VS Code editor, and I have some changes here. Okay, just some code I generated. Think I went to my Copilot, I said something, and I generated some code here. And this is dealing with users, something. Okay, this is my flow right now. Pretty much everyone in the meet is doing this already, right? You're going to your chat and you're putting some prompts, you're refining things, and you have some code. Now the question comes, is this code okay, or does this code have obvious errors? Now I look at this. Let's look at how much change is here. Okay, this. So each of these are new files, and agent generated something like 100 lines, 190 lines, 67 lines. If I go by this line by line, I don't think my startup is going to survive, to be frank, right? Like, if you are in a critical infrastructure, all that, yes, you are mandated to go through everything. But if I have to move fast, anyone who has a requirement to move fast, I need to know, is there a risk here? Is there a problem here? And is it making some dumb decision? Is it a wrong architectural decision being made? Or is it leaking some credential? Is it bad for my users? Will it go down? So these are the questions in my head. Now the solution which I have is, which is totally integrated with Git. So I have something called, we do Git status, and it is showing me, okay, these are my changes, and I can do Git add, and I can do naturally Git commit as I usually do. Okay, so many people are already, experienced in this, right? So let me just do this. Uh, okay, uh, sorry. Yeah. So what I can do is, I can just do a Git LRC review. Okay. So what I can do is a Git LRC review, and all the files are there. Okay. So I have these files. Uh, huh, sorry. Yeah. So this is the commit which I want to check. Okay. So I can do. Okay. Let me improvise a little bit here. I think I had made some different changes. So I'll add a line here. Okay. I'm adding a random line here by mistake. Okay. So I just added a mistake here by default. And I've added this, and I'm going to do LRC review. Okay. Now, so think about this as a workflow. Okay. So this immediately started the review for me and found the critical error right here. Okay, this line appears to be an accidental addition, right? I just did this and caught right there. This is not even committed, by the way. Okay, and it gives me a summary here as well. What this is doing is, there is some error. That is what it is doing, right? So here is the overview, right? Accidental line addition prevents the file from building. So what is the issue? This requires a removal, and yeah, so you need to fix this. That is what the recommendation is. And my performance here is okay. This is a small change, but despite that, 4 seconds. I got my comment in 4 seconds. And if it is a slightly bigger review, all that 30 seconds, 40 seconds max, you are going to get these things. And this system detects performance issues, architectural issues, cloud cost issues, all that, right? You can do a very rapid check of issues. And then if necessary, if you want, you can just send it to Cloud and get Cloud to look at some of that. And you can pick and choose of the comments which are available. You can copy those comments, you can put it into your agent, you can suggest, give additional instructions, you know solve it in such a way that the architecture adheres to layered concerns. So layered concerns means the layers should not overlay upon each other, right? Some such constraint. I can give such a constraint, and only when I'm satisfied. So now I can cancel the commit. So I'm just aborting the commit because there is actually an issue in this, right? I just aborted the commit. I can fix those things. I can run it again and keep going in this way. So every review may be 30 second, 30 second, 30 second. So this is what I mean by micro review. So when you're doing a feature, maybe you will do 5, 10 micro reviews like this. And by then it reaches your team or your team leads or your colleagues. Already it will be in a fairly good shape. I'm not saying the next levels are not required. Definitely all that is required. But this micro reviews, the idea here is we are increasing the hygiene. That's one part. The second is I'm getting some comprehension, right? So if there is 500 lines of code which was generated, I get a slide and I get a summary. I'm looking at it and I can sort of browse through the changes, everything, and I'm building up my mental model of the code. This is even more important, in my opinion. So you need institutional memory, right? So the agents are helping you along the way, but you cannot rely on them entirely for for maintaining in the future, right? Say something happens, you cannot say agent did it. You must be accountable. You, as an engineer, you must be accountable. You are to be on call, or your team will be on call, or your customers have to be answered to, right? So that is where the importance is, that we keep doing these micro reviews and don't let any obvious issues go through this process, right? So that is my sort of maybe conceptual contribution, you could say. Of course, this idea is pre-commit idea is already there, but I feel like it requires a new name because I don't want people to dismiss it like, oh, this is just a very minor thing. I feel like this small habit, if a whole team adopts. So just imagine a 5 people team or a 10 people team. Each person may do 4 5 reviews a day. That is 50 reviews a day, right? So think about the mental model being built within a team and how the understanding increases gradually, piece by piece, and how it leads to a more reliable system. So again, I said, instead of 5 nines, we are going as engineers for 6 nines eventually, right? And towards that, this is one step, one tiny step, and hopefully I get to work on other aspects as well, like the formal methods, TLA plus and Lean and Daphne and many other things are there, which will help us get this reliability at a higher level as well. But this should be a very great sort of methodology to for you to adopt. And I encourage everyone to sort of look at this approach. maybe take it seriously and give it a try and let me know how it goes for you, right? So that's the system which I methodology which I wanted to introduce you to, guys. Yeah, if any questions or any thoughts, any criticism, happy for answering anything. Thank you,
Yes,
guys.
sure. Like, that's a really great overview, Shrijith. So thank you so much. So we are open for questions. If you have any question, you can just anything. You can just add it on the comments. We will love to answer those.
Yes.
Let's see if you have any question. I think everyone understood really well. So that's why I think
That
there's no
that is
question.
great. That is
We-
no issue.
If you
Yeah.
have any doubts, if you want to ask him about his experience at Amazon or anything, like on research, you
Okay.
can just write on comments.
Yes.
Or if you want to start on the open source contribution, you can also ask question also on those.
Yes. We have a lot of students actually
Yeah.
contributing from GSOC already. So,
Yeah.
if you like reliability, engineering reliability, look into our project. There are many other projects as well. I will help you out.
Yeah, we can also share the link, like this is of link of your company.
Yes.
Are you on Google Summer of Code?
Yeah.
Let me just search. You can, I think the Google Summer of Code is over, but you can also apply for LFX mentorship if you want. It's also open
Yes.
for open source contribution. Then also you can also there's discount going on Linux Foundation certification courses. If you want, also you can get the 65% discount. I will share the link here. Then I guess we will end this session. So thank you so much, Siri, for your time and your energy. It's really love having you here, explaining all those core review stuff. And yeah, it was really insightful.
Yeah, Zainul, thanks for the opportunity and thanks for your audience for making the time and giving us the opportunity to do this. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope in future you will get the opportunity to also talk on the offline session also as well, like in Bangladesh. So
Yes, absolutely.
we are really,
Absolutely. I'll be thrilled
yes,
to do it. Let me know when the next big thing is.
yes. Yeah, we will love to have you here in Bangladesh. So hopefully everyone can also ask questions that time also
Yes.
if you want. Also, if you want to add with Shrijith on LinkedIn, he can also share his LinkedIn account.
Yes, I'm not able to post the link here.
You can
Yeah,
just comment
yeah,
or send me on the private chat if you want.
yes, yes. I'll send in the private chat. Yeah, sent it in the private chat.
Yeah, found it. So if you want to connect with Shrijit, here is link.
Yes, I'm open to any reliability related discussions. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
any
guess
engineering.
we will end this session now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if any question, you can ask now. Yeah. Shrijit, go ahead if you had any question. You were asking something. Shrijit, you were asking something.
No, no, I was just making a comment that I'm open to any discussions. You know, you can DM
Oh,
me if you want any engineering related discussions. You can discuss. with me. Yeah,
Yes, sure. Then I guess we will end this session now. Let me
yeah.
just end the live stream. So thank you so much, Shrijith, and thank you all for joining. We love having you all here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, everyone.